Welcome to Movie Complex. If this is your first time here, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any of the latest Quibi show reviews. Now let's get into the review.
So when I get on that plane tonight, I'll never arrive home.
Jane?
We can't stay here. We have to calm down.
I need to know you're not gonna tap out on me. Jane!
I promise. So don't tap out on me.
Avalanche!
Survive is Quibi's latest thriller drama, and it aired on the platform April 6, 2020. The story follows our main character Jane, who wants to end it all. But before she can, the plane that she's on crashes in the middle of nowhere. Now her and the only survivor, Paul, must come together and survive the dangerous wilderness to get to safety. There is a lot that I want to discuss about this show, but it goes into spoiler territory, so if you care, stop, watch the show, and come back. If you don't, let's just keep it moving. I really like the show's message and the show's theme, but there were a lot of things that took me out of the experience because they either were very irritating or didn't make any sense. When our main character Jane first meets Corey Hawkins' character Paul, he's completely smitten by her and tries to talk to her in the midst of her deciding if she wants to kill herself or not. When I'm going through something, the last thing that I want to do is talk to someone, so it really irritated me to see him constantly pressing her, constantly bothering her, constantly trying opportunities to sit with her and get to know her when she just really wants to self-reflect and be alone. Jane doesn't really get to go through with her plans because the plane crashes before she can get the job done. The only two survivors are her and Paul. Jane survives with minor injuries? You would think in a major plane crash where only two people survive that she would have more serious injuries. At least Paul's character has broken ribs and was pinned underneath the metal of the plane. Now, it's completely understandable why Paul's character said that they need to leave the plane wreckage and get to lower ground where it's much warmer and try to find some help, but I was kind of giving him the side eye when he was climbing down the mountain with the agility of a person that didn't have broken ribs. Another thing that bothered me about Paul's character is that he always knew what to do and where to go, and Jane never questioned him about it. Did he have a survival class? Was he in the military? Later on in episode 9, we find out that he just felt invincible and he had this self-confidence about himself and he knew that nothing bad would ever happen to him. And that, my friends, is not something a person in his situation would say. If something bad has already happened to you, you're not invincible because your ribs are broken, so how on earth does that lead to a self-confidence to always know what to do and where you're going? It doesn't make any sense. There's a scene towards the end of the show where Corey Hawkins is dying from his injuries and Sophie Turner's consoling him. I feel like the scene could have been a lot more powerful had they chose some different dialogue. There by his side, Jane tells Paul that she loves him, and even though they're in the situation that they're in and they've grown to love each other, I felt like the scene could have been more powerful had she said dialogue like, "I haven't tapped out, so you can't tap out, I need you, or we're in this together." Had they used dialogue like that, that probably would have been powerful enough to drive me to tears. But thus far in the story, I feel like Jane and Paul's character didn't have much chemistry, probably because the directors were pressed for time and they trimmed a lot of things from the book. When I got to a scene where I should be emotionally invested in their relationship, I really didn't feel anything. And that's why I feel like time really kills this story. Because they didn't have a lot of time to tell their story and they were pressed for time, so they had to trim a lot of things from the book, the audience didn't get to really know the characters as much as they could have. Now, I don't know if it was in Sophie Turner's contract to look as pretty as possible until the last 10 minutes of the movie, but she sustained no serious injury until the last 10 minutes of the movie where she was attacked by a wolf and lost a lot of blood. Aside from the things that I didn't like, I did enjoy the themes of relationships and self-discovery and survival, along with the show's message of love being the thing to guide you out of your depression and suicidal thoughts and being the thing that a person should live for. Another thing that I did love was the cinematography. The landscape shots, the drone shots, and the care that they took to the composition of their shots was absolutely amazing. I give this show a solid 6.5 out of 10. It's a solid drama, and I recommend it for anyone that loves dramas, shows about survival, and character relationships. If you are not a fan of the things that I just said, you should definitely skip this show. What did you guys think about Survive? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. So, you like movie reviews? Why not check out the Movie Complex Quibi Review playlist? Or you can go to our sister channel, So About Yesterday, where Clifton has some awesome reviews. Links to both are in the description down below. If you missed it in the intro, please support the channel by liking, subscribing, and hitting the notification bell to get updates on new content. When do I post new content? Every Saturday. Next Saturday, we're reviewing the quirky comedy Flipped. This is Movie Complex, your place for bite-sized Quibi reviews.